Hi again. Just coming back to share an equip clip with you, doing part 2 of why we have prayer meetings. Part 1 just talked a little bit about one of the primary reasons we would come is to glorify God's name. As Jesus instructed his disciples to hallow God's name, to respect his name. I wanted to drill down into that command from Jesus as he instructs his disciples, because grammar is important. Jesus tells his disciples, pray like this, and he uses the plural and collective language throughout the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. So there's a collective nature to prayer, as Jesus even instructs his disciples, that this is something collectively that he would expect they would pray like this. Again, descriptive in some ways. It's a not meant to be taken as pray always with this exact script, but use this model to pray. Certainly use these words, that's fine too, but use this model, and part of the model is it's collective, it's corporate. How then does that pair with Jesus earlier saying in the same instruction about how to pray, when you pray, go into your room and shut the door, pray privately. How does that then pair with Jesus using this collective language, pray like this, our Father, etc.? Well, again, Jesus is talking to a cultural context and a cultural issue of the time, and a direct issue of the time was those who didn't pray in such ways. They prayed very publicly, but in the wrong way. So they would pray directing attention to themselves. They would fast, directing attention to themselves. They would give, directing attention to themselves. So Jesus is saying, pray privately. Absolutely, pray privately. Go into your room, shut the door, because God, who sees in private, will reward you openly. And when you pray, don't use big words. And that should happen in private prayer as well. Don't use big words. But then Jesus is obviously understanding there's going to be public prayer. There's going to be prayers that we come and do together, prayers we say together, and ways of praying together that are necessarily corporate and collective. So our Father, give us, forgive us, deliver us, lead us not. So even the model of prayer we receive directly from Jesus clearly assumes we'll pray together. So that was part 2 of an equip clip on why we have prayer meetings at CityReach Marion. Join again for another episode sometime soon.